Greetings and g'day. Welcome to Baron Craft. Today I'd like to show you the process I went through to build this Modular Starship sci-fi dungeon scenery. It was pretty cheap to make. I like to think it turned out pretty well. The main materials are 1 centimeter wide MDF wood, just from your normal hardware shop. I got mine left over from our house extension build. There's also plastic edging strips from the hardware shop, lots of scrap cardboard packaging, and metal garden netting from my, lots of stuff from my bits box. The main idea is that these corridors lock the rooms together to form a 3D structure. These are nailed and glued together with cardboard greebling to hide the joins. The basic format is rooms with a 1/2 inch border around the edge for the other bits to slot onto, and covered with 1 inch movement tiles. A bit like a Space Crusade or Hero Quest dungeon, that sort of thing. It's really useful to buy good PVA wood glue, as the standard dollar store stuff is just terrible. It tends to have a gluggy consistency, and this good stuff will dry nice and clear. Some squares are made from matte cardboard and others with glossy card. As for cardboard, any scrap packaging works well. I recommend Okie Dokie Funny Mushrooms, but any should do if you can't find this. The garden netting is cheap to buy and a little hard to cut nicely into squares. You need to do plenty of adjusting. Make sure it's glued down nicely so it doesn't flick up with use. Don't be concerned about using too much glue, it should dry nicely afterwards. And any little weird bits on it, just add to the finished effect. For painting, your basic grey primer spray is perfect. It's matte and it covers up well. Compared to your top coat sprays, it goes on much nicer. You paste to get it into all the cracks. You can even paint the back of it if you like. I think I went through about 2 cans for this whole project. I went with a variety of offcuts and shapes to add variety. Generally, they cut very evenly, but unless you want a really smart looking starship, if you want something that's a bit beat up, weathered, it's fine to use all sorts. This room ended up pretty yuck because I tried using lots of thick expanding Gorilla Glue and lots of bits from my bits box. I don't recommend it in the end unless that's the look you're going for. This product here is called Army Painter Dark Tone. It's a dip varnish with pigment in it that sort of sinks into the cracks. It's normally pretty pricey, at least it used to be, but I got heaps of it on clearance. It's very tricky to get it on evenly, and it drips everywhere. So it's very tricky to sort of rest it somewhere while it dries, and you need to go back to it a couple of times and touch it up with your brush to stop it pooling up too much. It dries quite glossy as well, so if you don't like the glossy, a matte varnish spray sealant over the top will dull that down a bit. It works quite well. And all fits together nicely into one of these box trays. Please like, comment and subscribe if you like this. Next up, I'll show you the finished project in action. Thanks guys.